Oh, hello and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. I really don't remember what happened last time. I just remember that I had a cat attack. No, I always press the start. No, I don't want to press the start. What's wrong with me? I guess we were about to exercise. Yeah, I don't. Okay. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. I assume that Emmy would run a lot because she is on the track team. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Maybe she's there all night every night. Oh, it's you! Yes, it is me. Don't tell on me to the nurse whose name I don't know. I'm surprised to see you again. Why is that, judgmental bitch? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowns, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Okay. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Oh, okay. I thought it was just gonna be like, she's annoyed. Moving on. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. So, come on. I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. Get yourself a break, dude. You had a heart attack. And you're not quite ready. And also, you've been in the hospital. You're probably definitely out of practice. I know I should be patient, work toward things gradually, but I'm angry. It's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. What? I should not record when I'm so sleepy, but this is the only time when I can record though. When sleepy. Emmy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. She says, "See ya, loser. I got a zoomy woomy." This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? If you're working out and you just did all that yesterday, I would say you're probably still pretty tired. I would take it a little easy today and then go for it tomorrow. I let Emmy go on with her own pace, and she doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instance. I don't blame her. I'm a turtle. I mean, it's not as if I'm really putting up any sort of real fight out here, is it? Well, now you make me feel bad for my choice, but I think it was the correct one. Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? Yes. There's no need to go pushing my limits at this stage of the game. God, is this even worth it? Jesus. Chill. As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Emmy keeps going, and it almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Well, that's stupid. Well, heck her. You gotta go at your own pace. Sometimes that's just what happens. And also, you need to build back up your strength before you be running and stuff. She could be disappointed, but she's been running every day for like probably years. I don't have anything to prove to her. Come to think of it, I've got nothing to prove to myself either. Goodness. I'm just fine the way I am. I mean, you should still exercise. And what I'm not is a runner. This was probably a bad... They're making me feel like I chose the wrong thing, but I know I chose the correct thing. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this. Getting up this early sucks anyway. There's gotta be some other way to keep healthy. Walking, maybe. Nice afternoon walks. That sounds nice. Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me. I waved at Emmy and head back to my room. I feel like I'm now never gonna talk to her ever again. Whoops. I'll think of something else later. Back in my room, the first thing I see, that blanket to me for some reason just looked like a bunch of like anime girls. You know those like t-shirts or those things that have like all of the like ahegao faces on it? Like that, but not disgusting. Just like a bunch of, just like a pattern of anime girls. That is not what is there, but that's what I saw. Back in my room, the first thing I see is the familiar row of medication bottles lined up on top of my dresser, and it makes me depressed as usual. Well, I was gonna say it's too early in the morning to be depressed, but that's probably the exact, I think depression is just all day depression, especially at sleepy night times. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I had made my peace with this thing, gotten over it. But what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of this reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Was this gonna happen regardless? He was gonna run, and then he was gonna like realize that he was about to have a heart attack, and then he was gonna have to calm down, then he was like, everything's pointless. Crawling in my crawl. I'm being very mean to this guy. I need to chill. But he's just so easy. He's such an easy target to be mean to. Which makes it worse. Oof. Hello, hole I'm digging myself deeper into. Reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before, for months. It seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. Yeah, my life may be different from others, but it is a life in progress. Well, you don't know. You could live longer than other people. Some people get run over by buses and have car accidents and stuff. Maybe you won't get run over by a bus. Or maybe you want to get run over by a bus. And you can get isekai'd where you don't have problems. That is how I'll rationalize it. I downed the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feelings out of my head, and I prepare to head out to class early as usual. Do you have an antidepressant in that cocktail of pills? I would pretty much assume that you would, but I'm not sure what doctors do. It seems like they would, just because a lot of people get situational depression after these kind of events. Like rightfully so. Maybe you also need an anti-anxiety. Get a Xanax. I'm a pharmacist. Here's a Xanax, an antidepressant. I don't like that you're so upset. And it's not your fault. As I step into the hallway, I notice Kinji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way over to his room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me soundlessly like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him, "Hey, where's my $4? He jumps at the sound of my voice. Oh, hey man, I didn't notice you there. I'm really tired. I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping? With my money? No, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher. I don't like that you paused before saying that. Yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want. This is a weird... So then what's in the bag? I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need supplies to continue the fight against the vast feminist conspiracy. Okay, I asked if you went shopping, and you were like, no, I went to the math teacher. What did you have? Why bag? Because shopping. You're so frustrating. I thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. What? I decide to not point out that he is not wearing it. Okay. I thought maybe there was just... I suspended my disbelief and just figured that they didn't draw the hat because it would have just only been this one thing. But apparently he wasn't wearing a hat anyway. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside his room and then closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find out a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. I never study. Oh. I just wanted to know when the next test day was. I'm still going to take it, duh. I need to know so I know what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. Wait. And why do you have to go out? Yeah, when you can get it on your phone. I don't carry a phone. You frustrate me. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones? I have no phone. Okay. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all. No phone? No phone? Who was phone? No phone? You know he believes in conspiracy theories. He's not gonna use a phone. He thinks people are listening in on his conversations, which they absolutely are, but like, you should still have a phone. I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. That's not what I was expecting. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. That's anxiety. Would you like a Xanax? I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it. Oh my god. Beaten in the head. Oh, don't say that. That's wrong. Well, where else could I get beaten with a phone that would make me unable to remember it? The ass? I mean, trauma. It doesn't matter if you get beat hard enough, it don't matter where you get beat, the trauma, they'll block it. Unexpectedly logical, I feel very depressed now. Sensing this conversation is more or less over, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Cool. Class is going to start in like 20 minutes. I already did something today. Too tired to go to school. Oh no. Get away from me! Is he gonna kiss me? What do you mean, do I need some lip balm? Hey, you need some lip balm? I accidentally bought two because I thought the store had started selling individual AA batteries. Poor boy, he can't see. Thanks, but no thanks. Whatever, man. Why did you get so close to me to ask me if I want lip balm? You freak, get away from me. He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to the class. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come to morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their faces, by now, though the names still escape me still. Have you bothered to ask anyone's name except for Misha, Shizune, and Hanako? If you ask them their names, you might remember better. Class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. I assume festival is like endgame? Yeah, that would make sense. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds.
Games and fried food!
Yes. Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. No! I was gonna read it! It skipped for me, I didn't want it to. The reminder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bell, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. Oof. This is new. I don't like this sound bite. It upsets me. Shh, 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 shh. It's crowded in the hallway as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria.
Hisao! I'm going to make you a one-time only extra super special lunch offer. Emmy's homemade lunchboxes and the privilege of enjoying them in private with two bombshell beauties.
Her overly flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway, a remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emmy strikes a very confident-looking pose as though as an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing her very modest chest and making the V for victory sign with her hand. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited?
You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company.
That is probably the most depressing reason imaginable. No, she was being considerate. I don't think it's depressing.
So how about it? You're probably really lonely and would eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise.
I mean, I'd probably eat with Misha and Shizune.
I'm kidding.
Sure, I'll have your lunch offer with pleasure.
Let's go to the roof.
The roof? Why the roof?
Because that's where we eat lunch. And if I don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off, and then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself.
Hostative.
Come with me.
Without answering my question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. It's Ren, right? It's gotta be. Why do you have an extra lunch? Because Ren refuses to eat. Emmy smiles guiltily.
Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. Ew. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it.
Huh. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door complete with missing padlock. Woof. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock.
It was Emmy.
What am I looking at? Emmy shows the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Ba-da-dum. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Oh god.
Eek!
Hello? Oh no.
Yipes, you scared me, Ren.
Wait, isn't she? Hello. Let's just boot this down, because it's loud. Noticing that Ren is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me.
You two know each other?
I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Ren has turned her gaze toward the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off.
I invited Hisao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better.
Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch?
Neither. I have food for 3.
Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feeties. I peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Everything the light touches is mine. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle. Okay. And at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpable. Palpable. The hectic lifestyle of big metropoli seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by neon lights or traffic jams. I don't think some of the people at this school would be able to handle such an onslaught of stimuli. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Are we a senior? I have the allergies still. It's bad. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. It's almost like I'm on a roof, and there's sun. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Ren in tow, and produces 1 big and 2 small lunchboxes from her bag.
Come on, Hisao, what are you waiting for?
She is beckoning me to join them. Don't mind that sound, I just smacked the ever-loving bejesus out of my hand, making room on the already small bench. Why are you so close to me? I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Ren, and hands another lunchbox to me.
Here you go, lunch as promised.
Who gets the old one from yesterday? I need to know. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good.
Thanks, I made 'em myself when I can. I make 'em myself when I can.
Conversation dies off as I set about my business of feeding myself.
Yes.
Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Ren deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she wasn't like, hey, Emmy, feed me. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I mean, you have about a year to do it, so I think you can. I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Hisao... These are normal people.
So judgy. You're so judgy, Hisao.
I say, as I'm like judging everyone on the screen at all times. I'm a hypocrite, it's fine. Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? Yes, it's that one. I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. That's a metaphor and a half, or an analogy. You seem pretty hungry. Well, yeah, she like wakes up at like dark 30 and goes running, and then she's probably starving. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite, which is great because I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man? Good questions, good questions. I nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh.
It's a figure of speech.
Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Haha. Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Ren seems content to let Emmy answer this question. I said click.
Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another.
Complement each other? Like shoes and a suit? Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion.
Put us together and we've got all our limbs, get it?
Ah.
So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that.
I mean,
you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along.
I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fair, obviously. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So, putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. I mean, it might not be if it was like just a t-shirt. You can just like snake your little head in. Just blah, 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 blah. You know what? I'm going to stop talking now. That's probably for the best. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Ren nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch and just eat it awkwardly and pretend like I didn't just consume my foot through this whole conversation. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise.
Ah, that was good.
As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Ren speaks up. I thought it was okay. Oh, I'm thirsty.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry, I was so... My mouth was just so full of food.
I couldn't remember. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes.
What flavor? I like grape.
She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Ren that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color, and keeps an equally pink. And why is equally pink and parentheses, box of some kind of fruit punch to herself. I'm good with cranberry juice. Thank you. I like this. Yum 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 yum. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Didn't you keep it to yourself last time? Somehow I don't think Emmy or Ren are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Ren especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware of aware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure.
So, Hisao, how do you like it up here?
It's very, roofy. Oh, wait, that's a word. It's up high and sky. It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose.
No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay?
I mean, if you're buying, I'm flying. Wait. Yep, I'm staying by it. If you bring the food, I'll show up and eat it.
I won't make you a lunch.
Well, then I'm not coming.
But you can bring your own up here.
No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended.
Trying to take advantage of my good nature. The nerve.
She giggles.
Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone.
I am suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rendering puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch with you up here again, but I'll just sit and make you feel bad and just not eat and just stare at you and be like, if only somebody would have made me a lunch, then I wouldn't have had to starve to death. Good location and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess that makes us friends now. Friendship achieved. Or at least acquaintances. I think you're at least friends with Rin, right? We've had conversations with her. That's how friendship works. You have a couple conversations and then friends. Lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs.
Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again.
I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Oh, I thought I was Hisao for a second. Whoops. Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. Suspiciously.
Okay, we are back in class now. So we need to take a rest because we got full bellies and we need to take a nap. So we will play more next time.